Good morning everybody, it's Graham once again from Unearthed and another episode of Detecting Talk. Smack bang in the middle of this lockdown still. As you can see, I've had my hair shaved, and the reason is because I can't get my hair cut by my normal hairdresser or barber, so I've had to do it myself because it was like up here. Crazy times, can't even get my hair cut. So we'll get on with the Detecting Talk film now. Now this might be of interest to some of you people watching, but last week I was pulled over by the police on my journey to feed the sheep, and they were asking, very politely asking the lady, policewoman, asking where I was going and what I was doing. Now that's twice I've been pulled over in this lockdown, and I don't know if anybody else that's been pulled over, which is maybe says more about my appearance driving the car than anything else. Anyway, at least the police are doing the job in certain parts. However, so I got into a conversation with the lady policewoman about detecting, actually, in the lockdown. Were we okay to go out detecting, fishing and other sort of outdoor pursuits or leisure activities? And she was quite clear to say detecting isn't classed as essential exercise, it's classed as leisure, so therefore it wouldn't be allowed to happen while the lockdown period was on. She was quite not blunt, but she was quite to the point with her answer. So obviously I've took that on board. I had to ask the question because there's so much grey area swimming around over this. A lot of people saying I'm still going out detecting, a lot of people saying they're staying in and doing the right thing, and a lot of people saying I'm tired of taking advice off people, and the government are giving out mixed signals about the lockdown. But as far as I'm concerned, the policewoman was quite forthright in saying, it's a leisure activity, detecting, as is fishing. Even though you're out on the field on your own possibly, or with a friend, social distancing would be pretty much called into play there, because you don't really detect right alongside people anyway. It's seen as a leisure activity, and it would send out the wrong signals. If people were out detecting all over the place, then other people would start doing other things. It's that sort of snowball effect. So different police forces in different counties may say different things, but this is what the lady told me. So, but she did say, hopefully in a couple of weeks the lockdown will be lifted and we'll all get back to some sort of normality, which is what we want. And I'm only relaying the information. I'm not saying it's right, wrong or indifferent, but that's what she told me, and she was quite forthright in doing so. So it'd be interesting to see what some of you guys think about that. I know there's one or two comments been left over the last couple of weeks about people saying, you can't tell me what to do, I'm not staying in, I'm going out detecting. That's up to them as an individual. It probably says more about them than it does anybody else, but the vast majority of detectorists are doing the right thing and staying in the lockdown period, because this virus is a killer. There's no two ways about it. Right, on to something else now. Now, a lot of you people that watch this channel and are Unearthed customers also have bought the Simplex machines, either the Pro Pack or the Simplex Plus, at some point over the last 6 months. And a lot of people are enjoying the Simplex. They're really sort of getting to grips with it and its features and things. Terrific value for money, of course, with all its weatherproof, waterproof, collapsible stem and everything else features crammed into it. People are taking advantage of a good detector. However, they announced last week, and a lot of you guys will know this, that there was an update for the Simplex. Now, if anybody's watching this channel that hasn't done it yet, I would say this update, or the latest update by Nokta Macro for the Simplex, has been probably the best one. The feedback that we're getting off the people that have already downloaded it and tested it, maybe in the back gardens, etc., are pretty happy with it. So for those of you that don't know fully what the update is, I can just give you a brief description. Now I will have to look to me right here, because I've got it wrote down on a piece of paper, or printed out on a piece of paper, but this is what the new update on the Simplex consists of. So it's one new level of sensitivity to provide extra depth. So they've added one new level of sensitivity to the Simplex. Now the Simplex was already quite a deep seeking machine for you guys that have been using it, so an extra level of sensitivity has made it more, potentially give it a boost in depth. There's a new search mode, Park 1, old search mode Park renamed to Part 2. Part 1 is a relatively deeper but a bit slower than Part 2 mode, so the recovery speed's slightly slower than the Part 2 mode. Well, that's a new update as well. Huge changes, and this is their words, not mine. Huge changes to of the all metal mode. So huge changes to the all metal mode. The icon was moved to the end. Threshold setting feature has been added. So there's a threshold setting feature added, and the icon, all metal mode icon, was moved to the left. To the end. Right. And next up is the mineralization indicator was added to the control box screen. Now the screen stays on settings longer, so you can actually, because if you remember when you set your Simplex, you've only given a short period of time before it goes back. So you've got to get your settings in right quickly until it sort of you've got to go back through the sequence again. So the screen now stays, the settings screen stays on longer before it goes back to the main menu. The back function, up arrow, if you will, has been added to exit from settings. People have been waiting for that for so long, it's got down in brackets. ID depth has been increased. 4 new levels of automatic brightness on the screen. So if you're out detecting and it's getting slightly darker at dusk, you've got 4 new levels of automatic brightness there. Optimized sound for the pinpoint mode and for wireless headphones. And an upgraded manual ground balance function. Now what's missing off my list that I'm going to add to it is there's also a mute button been added. If you're getting interference with the pinpoint probe, there's a mute button. You can just press on the detector and it stops that annoying interference from a particular pinpoint probe that you may be using. So I think Nokta Macro have done a fantastic job there. It tells you something about a company that are constantly thinking about the detecting experience for their customers. So rather than just producing a machine, there it is, get on with it, thanks very much, goodbye, they're constantly thinking of how these new upgrades can improve the detector's performance. And I think that's a fantastic, well, you know, it's a massive thumbs up to the company for doing it. You know, there's not many detectors out there that I can think of that continuously improves the performance ever so often. So you've got to take your hat off to Nokta Macro for doing such a fantastic job with these updates. Now, I'm not saying there's any more updates coming, who knows, there might be some more in the future. It's certainly worth looking out for, but isn't that a big thumbs up to them? So if any of you guys haven't done it yet, you've got to go on to the, you know, just Google the Nokta Macro upgrade, and it's a relatively simplistic job to do off a laptop or a computer. And once you've got the hang of it, I think it only takes a matter of minutes to do it, if that. So, you know, if you're in sort of two minds about doing the upgrade, my advice is go for it. You know, why not? Why not improve the detector's performance? It's already a great detector, but going that little stage further is always helpful for people. Right, so that's that put to bed. Right, we'll put that over there. Now, what was interesting this week, what we on? See, I'm losing the days. I don't know if you guys are doing the same, but you know, every day feels like a Sunday. You know, you're getting up every day is the same. I mean, today's the first day we've had rain in 6-7 weeks. It's crazy. Every day looks the same. Every day feels the same in this lockdown. So what we're on Wednesday. So last week, I was in discussions with a farmer friend who has found us some new land to go out detecting on when the lockdown and the social distancing measures are relaxed. So we'll put that in our back pocket, another potential 350 acres of arable and pasture land that's has not been detected, which is good news. And I'm sort of toying with the idea whether to have a dig where we split the money between sort of the landowner and a little bit of, well, half of the money going towards, because we don't take any money off these digs, remember, we don't make any money off it at all. Most of it goes to all of it goes to the landowner, but it might be worth exploring the possibility of splitting it for an NHS fund, because as we all know, the NHS workers have just you know, just done the best job on earth saving people's lives, and they're getting the credit, finally getting the credit that they deserve. So I think it might be worth us exploring the possibility of doing some future digs and raising a few quid for the NHS. So we might just end up doing that before too long. Now, I don't know the situation with organised digs and rallies. You know, there is talk on the forums and on the Facebook groups and pages that rallies are going to be cancelled for the rest of the year, and it'll be only sort of like a couple of detectorists allowed or friends or whatever, normal sort of private detecting allowed at any time. So we're hoping that that isn't the case. We're hoping that this virus sort of sweeps through, does its worst, and disappears back to where it came from, right? And we can all get back to some sort of normality, and organised digs can commence, because we have got quite a lot of farms in our back pocket waiting to be searched, and I'm sort of chomping at the bit to get on there and explore these farms, but we obviously can't do a great deal at the moment. But the encouraging thing is, you know, I'm still talking to landowners and farmers about putting these digs on, and they're all quite excited about us coming along with our small group of people. So let's see if anything changes in the next, I don't know, few weeks, months, who knows how long this lockdown's going to go on for. But I think you'll probably find that a lot of these rallies and organised digs up and down the country may start raising a few quid for the NHS. You watch it snowball and take off. I think there'll be a lot of people thinking in the back of their mind that it's a worthy cause, and obviously the metal detecting community does have a habit of raising a heck of a lot of money for charities. And we've seen that over the years, air ambulance in particular, cancer charities, hospice at home charities, things like that. The metal detecting world can earn and you know, produce a lot of charity money, which is always fantastic. They always come out on top and do the right thing, which is really good. So let's have a look. And I also noticed that there's a lot of these, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and I'm not going to sort of get into a debate on whether it's right or wrong, but there seems to be a growing number of these festival type detecting, not circuses, but events. I have a wry smile on my face. These events cropping up. So you've got things like, I mean, Detector was the first, somebody's going to pull me up over that, but I think it was the first sort of big gathering event, festival in the detecting world, and then we're finding a whole host of different ones following it. Now, they've obviously been bitten by the bug of getting together and holding these events, but they just seem to be sprouting up all over the place. Interesting times. Interesting times. Is it a charity spinner? Is it a money spinner? Is it just getting together with groups of detectorists that are like-minded and enjoying the weekend's experience? Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? But I am seeing a growing number of them. Some with silly names, I have to say. Right. Quit. So, going back to the previous video of Relic Wrecker Richard, that was just a bit of light-hearted, you know, entertainment for people. It was a tongue-in-cheek look at a particular area of the detecting world, and we all know who these individuals are, the YouTube stars out there doing their worst or their best in their eyes. And it was just a light-hearted look at their sort of world that they live in, some of them, sadly. So don't take any offence, guys. It wasn't aimed at anybody in particular. You know, it was just a light-hearted bit of fun to lighten the gloom of the lockdown period. So, give us some feedback on this. I hope you Simplex users are going to do the update. I think you should. What else have I got to speak about? There's nothing else coming out at the moment apart from, if you have a look on the Unearthed website, there's the new Nokta Macro sand scoops. They're very hard wearing, very well made, and very well priced actually. They're coming in a lot cheaper than our last handheld sand scoops. And these are terrific value for money. I mean, how Nokta Macro, I mean, this isn't Nokta Macro sort of promotional film, by the way, but they just keep churning out this really, you know, good product. I mean, there's one behind us here, the pulse dive pointer. You know, it's a pulse induction pinpoint probe that you can dive with up to 200 foot. I mean, it's just an incredible tool, that. And people are buying these because they're obviously fully waterproof, and they work equally as well as any other probe on the market, if not better, and cheaper than most of the pulse induction probes and some of the high grade probes. So they do continue to do, let me just have a look at that. They do continue to produce these wonderful, you know, these wonderful accessories, you know. And you can actually transform this into a scuba detector. You can put a search coil on the end of it if you wish. So there, another example of Nokta Macro's fantastic range of accessories. But the Nokta sand scoops, Nokta Macro sand scoops, are brilliant value for money. And we're getting people buying them and saying, I can't believe how cheap they are and how well made they are. Just what they're looking for them beach detecting sessions. So have a look at them on the Unearthed website. I forgot to bring one with me today from the warehouse to show you guys, but I might do it next time. So there will be another episode of Detecting Talk come, sort of a demonstration video of a detector. We're going to whiz it over the test bed once I kick the sheep off it for grazing it down. So yes, keep an eye out for that. So stay safe, everybody. It's great to hear from you, and I know a lot of people have been out and about walking and enjoying as well, watching our history on foot videos, and there is going to be a couple of more of them coming up before the end of this lockdown, so stay tuned for that. And other than that, just stay safe, do the right thing, guys, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Bye for now.